Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of that Millwall live show, I suppose, that Millwall podcast, that Millwall interactive show. Well, we are the only interactive show out there. But guess what, Stephen? We can only, again... Good evening to everyone tuning in. We are a bit earlier, but it's Christmas and we're not going to be doing one tomorrow night. So good evening, Dan. Good evening, Lions Raw. Good evening, Alex. What a difference a day makes. It is. Oi, oi. Hello, Chris and Richard Smith. What a game, but just seen George's red card upheld.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Millwall already put in the appeal apparently, and it's already been rejected. So he misses 3 games.
I don't know why it's been rejected though, because I mean, okay, it was touch a line, but I mean, I've got a few things. I mean, one of them for us is where have I put it? I might not have uploaded it, to be fair. I mean, to be honest with you, and again, full credit to Millwall TikTok account, where you can see the embossed name on this. But I mean, this should have been a red card. Really.
And I'm not sure what Barnes is doing here. He's
just absolutely gone for Jake Cooper there. I'll be amazed if he's not sent off here. He's just wiped him out. He's just gone for him. He's lost his head here, Ashley Barnes.
The referee now having a word with Barnes. Barnes has gone for him again. Ashley Barnes has totally lost the plot. Totally lost the plot.
Have to say, top drawer banter from Millwall admin on their TikTok about making out
Santa.
Making out that that Barnes wanted, Cooper's shirt and that, but that should have been a red card all day long.
There's a comment from Alex there that says the ref was shocking both ways, and it actually was both ways. This is the thing. He was so poor across the board; it was unbelievable. And the fact that Barnes basically chokeslams Cooper. Then the incident, Sav and Honeyman are obviously winding him up, but also sticking up for their teammate. And Cooper gets booked for that. He doesn't actually get booked for the incident. It was just absolutely pathetic. And as I say, Saville was he's still a hero in my eyes. He had to make the tackle, I think, because Johnny Rowe was breaking clear. But the fact that it's been rejected already just shows how inept really those that are running our game.
Just 1 second. Negative, Dan. Are you negative?
I'm not negative, mate. I'm very positive.
There we go. You see, you need to do it again. Morning, Tony. All the way from sunny New Zealand. The tide has turned. The players have to show that sort of commitment every game, and that noise was old school. That ref was a complete and utter. I'm trying to lay off for the first couple of minutes of using profanities because YouTube seems to get really upset when I do. So if I lay off it a little bit and then come into it, it'll be.
I'll lay it off it then on that point. But as Tony's language was to describe the referee there, that actually helped, and Barnes' shenanigans. They
Fuck
both
it, the referee's a cunt.
There we go. Well, someone had to say it. That really helped to get the atmosphere going inside the Den yesterday. I think that was probably the best home atmosphere, I think, of the season so far, to be honest.
I think that was the switch, wasn't it? I think once Cooper got brought down and the ref yellow carded him instead of red carded him, that was pretty much a switch was switched, and the Millwall fans just went, this is it. We're with them. We're 100% standing side by side, and the players, you could just see it, couldn't you? That the players just fucking have never really, some of them have never seen the Den like that. And you just went, oh. But one thing what I posted out last night, you would never, ever have seen that sort of win under Rowett.
I don't know. I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure on that because the way that Edward set us up, not to do him any disservice, because I thought it was the right way to go for the first half at least, was to let them have the ball and hit them on the counter. And I think that was Rowett's plan. It's just that the problem was he wasn't picking the right players.
I'm not talking about the formation. I'm talking about the way we won it. As in good old-fashioned fucking sweat and fucking violence. That was the first red card we've had. The last game was the first red card or whatever we have had. Well, that one was the first red card we've had since 2020. To
be fair, though, firstly, it wasn't a red card. The fact that the ref gave it was a bit of a joke in itself. I think yesterday we come across probably the turning point for Joe Edwards and for the players and perhaps the supporters. There's a lot of talk about all of those things and the club being disjointed. Well, if yesterday was anything to go by, the club's no longer disjointed because the fans are right behind every single one of those players and behind the manager.
I understand what you're saying there. I still think the club is disjointed, but I think that the fans are on the same side as the team and the players.
Oh, behind the scenes, you can't. That's different. But I'm talking about when the fans go to games, if they can see the players, one's sticking up for themselves, all in it together, working hard, the basics of what you expect. If they see that from the players, they'll get a positive response. And I think yesterday was the first time in a long time. There's a lot of people, some negative people on social media, and I won't out anyone, but because everyone's entitled to their opinion, but who've been very critical and come away from yesterday thinking, do you know what?
Very silent yesterday, though, weren't they? All the Edwards Out Brigade just suddenly must have just decided to come off social media for a day, mate, because they did go very, very quiet. But we've always said, trust the process. But yesterday was probably the first game I could see what he was doing with Bradshaw, with Murray Wallace, and with Fleming to a degree, what he's been trying to do. And yesterday, I think the stars aligned and everything just went in the right direction. Alex has just put a good comment up there. Look, Alex turned around and said, I felt it took Gary Rowett 3 years to get the club. I feel Joe has that already, which I sort of think he does. I think he understands possibly because of the Chelsea mentality. And our fan base isn't very different to Chelsea to a degree. I know they're in the Prem and slightly, but roots wise, we come from the same sort of fucking running ground. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day.
I said the other day, Millwall means more to Joe Edwards than what people might ever think it does, because Millwall gave him his opportunity, in his first real opportunity as a manager. Yeah, he's worked under Tuchel and Lampard in the Champions League, but no one knew who he was. If you just said to people, oh, who was on the backroom staff when Chelsea won the Champions League, no one would be able to give you real names. So I think it means a lot to him, and I think he does get, he is starting to understand what it actually means to be Millwall manager. And I think you can tell his press conference after the game talking about, the Den was rocking and, pleasure to be a part of it. There was a comment from one of our listeners, and it's gone past now, but probably thinks, I want some more of that. I want that the next home game. I want that the next home game. And I think Yeah, now Joe has experienced that. He'll want that more and more. Exactly. And I think what better feeling is there when you're under massive pressure to have two massive home wins? He must have been walking around the pitch when he sort of clapped the fans and stuff, thinking, do you know what? This is the time now to kick on, and that can only be a good thing for us.
It's been a long time. The Den's been like that, though. A horrible, fucking evil cauldron of what the Den should be. And that should be like that every fucking home game. Contrary to what the club's saying, all that, the club, oh, we want it to be like this. No, that's how it should be. Because that is what Millwall is all about. Does anyone know what jokes of Glenn H has come on and said, do we know on what grounds the appeal was rejected?
I can tell you why it was rejected, because they don't want to be seen to be critical of referees. It's all about supporting the referees these days, isn't it? That's the only reason. Never a red card. It's a yellow card every day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have we seen over the last 4 or 5 years Saville make that kind of tackle when the opposition have been countering us late on?
Pretty much every week he makes that kind of tackle.
He's got a booking in him. We know that. He knows that. And the fact is, it's the Norwich players weren't appealing for him to be sent off quick, like the ref.
No, even their player as well. He got up and just got on with it, didn't he?
It was just a moan, that cynical tackle, and you could tell Saville was gutted. And obviously, we were all thinking, "Christ, 10 men and losing Saville for a few weeks." But as you said, Dan, it's the referees' union. Unless it was an absolute howler, that will never, ever, ever be turned over, because they have to be seen to be sticking to their own.
And obviously, they won't look into what Barnes did throughout the night, because obviously he got his booking, so they'll class that as it was dealt with on the pitch by the referee at the time. And
he was then taken off about 5 minutes after the incident, where it was all heating up.
5 minutes.
He was off. They had 3 subs ready, and he was slung off. So yeah.
So 3 months ban for Saville. Okay, it's going to be painful.
He's back for the QPR game, which is probably quite a good thing.
And
that's quite an important game.
One of the games is the cup game, so who cares?
That's what I mean. So he's
who cares?
I can't imagine he would have played against Leicester.
No, I've got a treat for us. What I'm going to do very, very shortly. And many thanks to the Pinkham for giving me permission for that. So very, very kind of you for that. Mike, I want to ask you a question, because we know that you are a referee. How long has refereeing now had circle cards rather than the traditional playing card sort of shape card? Because obviously all the pictures from last night show that when he gave Saville the red card, it was a circle card, looked more like a coaster rather than a.
I'll be honest. I don't really care about the color, the shape of the card.
I'm asking an expert.
All right, that's fine. I mean? Put up his next comment. I will
do in a minute.
And also on that point, I think Dan is absolutely spot on there on Honeyman. I think he's been last 2 games. I think we've really seen Honeyman play back to the best of his ability. I think he was one of the very few victims from when we was at the 5 at the back at the start of last season. When we switched formation, he was probably one of the very few victims that ends up dropping out the team, had his injuries and stuff. But I think in the last 2 games in centre mid in his natural position, I think he's looked excellent.
Honeyman in the middle where he belongs, put Leonard next to him to cover Saville, and Danny Mack right back. I think
it's not a bad shot.
Who comes in for George? Billy? Don't know. Let's get through a couple of these quickly. Attendances have been really good considering Dross at home. Give us something to shout about. Give us something to shout about. Will get us that evil atmosphere. Well played, Millwall. Massively. I mean, Ashley Barnes must have realised what he was doing and realised that he'd fucked up. Because as their manager said, I could play their manager's one as well if you want, but I think that as soon as he did that was it. It was game over. It didn't matter whatever they did. They could have brought on Messi and they weren't winning that game. It was just not going to happen. Improvement over in 1 game 1 goal against in the last 4 games, and Joe has adjusted how he knows what the players are capable of. And that's the difference. He knows what the players are capable of, and he's playing to their strengths. Gary Rowett didn't fully understand what his players' strengths were and wanted them to play to his capabilities, not their capabilities. So, I think that's it. Mike said, always had it, red is round for colour blindness, yellow is square. So at least people know. There you go. See, look, we've learned an interesting fact. You have to be fucking negative at some point on a show, don't you, Dan? Do you know what I mean? So
that's quite an interesting fact, actually. I'm gonna store that one away.
Yeah. See, if I hadn't have asked that question,
okay, you know what? Thank you, Mickey, and thank you, Mike.
You are the journalist, and yet I am going to learn to be a journalist. I think I want some days out in the press box, and yeah, I'll be good to have a few bits. I can't write to fucking save my life, but we'll have a go. Also, with 2 Georges looking good and in the middle, what happens when Casper comes back?
That is a good point.
He could be back to cover those games in the season.
Casper walks straight back in this team.
I don't see a way where Casper doesn't get picked, and I think he probably will be in there next to Saville. I think that's going to be the main 2. But I think Honeyman's definitely making a strong case to stay in the team.
Yeah, no, 100% there, 100% there. Players were afraid to take risk under Rowett. If 100% pass wasn't there, then is that better? A bit better. Then we don't lose the what do you call it? I don't know. Is that better or is that better?
No, the other one's better.
That one.
Squared.
Okay. Jamie Barnett. Good evening, James. Hope you're well. Those of you following on Facebook, we are on YouTube. Please just jump on YouTube, give us a subscribe. And those of you watching on YouTube, haven't subscribed. We are so close to 2,000 subs, and it'll be wicked if we could get there before 2024. I know there's only 2 days left, and it's a big ask because it's about 20 new subscribers we need. But if we can get there, it will be brilliant to start 2024 on 2,000 subs. So yeah. Can we also put to bed the issue of day trippers and non-UK supporters not contributing to the atmosphere last night? Everyone was involved. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that one because I don't fully agree with you in there. Yeah, they were there, but they don't know the pure evil, what can be attributed, what Millwall fans can do, and I think they were caught up in the ride. But whether or not they were fully on board with it all, I don't know.
That is true, but it does go to show that you can have a lot of people in the crowd that are not regulars and still an atmosphere be generated that the players can thrive off of. It can be done.
No, yeah, 100%. But we've needed that spark, and we haven't been having that spark. So yeah, look, Mike says to you, Dan, school day every day. Okay,
respect it.
Happy New Year, lads. Going to watch this back. Come on, you Lions. Great win. The atmosphere was best this season. Thanks, Cunt Barnes. Okay, no worries. What does he mean, I'm going to watch this back? What do you think is more important? What do you think he's doing? Having dinner? He's got a promise? Or I don't know. Maybe he's just putting the kids to bed, having dinner. I don't know. I don't really care, but I'm just interested. So you don't have to come back and tell me. So, yeah. Foreign day trippers is a red herring. More people in the stadium, never a bad thing. The hardcore regulars will still make noise and create atmosphere. Hendon's, yeah. I do think something's there because the atmosphere's up. I mean, I've seen a few videos of Australians and Aussies and Austrians and Germans and Dutch and all that. Anyway, gents, I have got exclusive to us. I might get into trouble with it afterwards, but I've got full permission, so I don't really care. I've got a treat for you, and obviously our listeners. Sit back.
Is it a late Christmas present?
It's not really a Christmas present, but it's something. It's something that we've not done before, and it's something that we want to do. And I'd like to do more of it going forward, hopefully in 2024. So it's about 8 minutes or so. Sit back and enjoy Joe Edwards' press conference.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen the Den rocking before, but that was really rocking tonight, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a pleasure to be a part of. It was obviously one of the big objectives when I joined the club, that I was aware the form in terms of the results, and then obviously that leads to the feeling a bit hadn't been what it should be and what we want it to be at the Den. So it was one of the big objectives to put it right. It's taken a bit longer than we would have liked, but now back-to-back wins. But tonight, the way it worked hand in hand, to be fair, because I said we want a certain atmosphere and energy from the fans, but it's absolutely our responsibility as a team to create that. And although there were spells where Norwich had lengthy spells of possession, I think the fans could see from the off that our attitude, our desire was there from the off, and then they fed off it, and it was what we wanted to be. It was very difficult for Norwich to play. Then when it gets heated in the second half, it kicks everyone on even more. And for sure, when we then go down to 10 and we've got to hang on and ride it out, the fans were massive in helping us through that. It was a brilliant night for us.
And the thing is that Millwall players are used to that atmosphere. They know how to handle that atmosphere when it gets like that. But obviously Norwich just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that's again, I've spoken to so many players, players and coaches, particularly since I've joined Millwall, that everyone can recollect times where they've come to the Den and Millwall away is not a nice fixture that people look forward to playing in. So that's how we want it to feel. We obviously want to add an element of control and quality to our game in what we're about when we've got possession of the ball, but we don't want to do that at the cost of having that fight and aggression, which is on the pitch in how we play and how we defend, but that comes from the stands as well, with the energy from the fans, because it's a force.
But people might see the second half and say that's why Millwall won, but you'd already created a lot of chances around half time either side, hadn't you? So the quality was there. You could have been 2 or 3 up. Yeah,
for sure, and I would credit the players massively, because I would be one to point out in a few weeks ago when we were in a tough run of performances and results that there were moments where we were creating half chances, but the final decision or the final end product wasn't of enough quality, and it was costing us. Last couple of games, there's been a lot of quality at key moments. So like you say, Norwich have come here and had a fair amount of the ball, more than us, which we knew before the game. We had a plan of how we wanted to defend and frustrate them, but we also had a plan of how we could hurt them going the other way. And it's a game where consecutive home games, the visitors have come here, dominated possession, but our goalkeeper's not really had a save to make, whereas we've had our goal that was a high quality goal, then we have Zian Fleming's big chance that gets saved, then we have Brooke Norton-Cuffy's header, which is a big chance that was at the end of like a 20 pass passage. We have Ryan Longman's chance near the end. So we've done a lot more going forward than the opponent have, despite all their dominance. So it was a very rounded performance from us that I was really pleased with.
Just one more from me. Was George Saville unlucky to get a red card for that challenge?
I think he probably was. I think when you do lunge like that, particularly when an opponent's running at that speed, it can look desperate and it puts the ref in a position. But having seen it back, which obviously the ref doesn't get the benefit of, but having seen it back, it's probably more cynical than it is reckless or dangerous. And if I think of the McLean tackle on George Honeyman before that, in terms of a danger to an opponent, I don't think there's much difference in it. So they can go either way. When it happens at that speed, they can go either way. It went against us, but fortunately enough, we rode it out after.
Does that now mean he's out for 3 games?
Yeah, which is the biggest blow of all of it. I mean, obviously, short term and in the heat of the moment, you're delighted to see that the players sort of stick together and ride it out. But that is a loss for us.
Joe, just on that incident, is there any thought about potentially appealing it just because of how 50-50 it could be?
We've only just come out of seeing it, so we can update that even over the weekend.
Fair enough. Let me ask you about the other incident with Ashley Barnes, a couple of incidents actually. How did you see it, and what have the players told you about what was going on there?
We haven't spoken about those kind of incidents. It's so soon after. There's so much more to talk about in terms of how well we carried out our plan, how much character we showed, how much quality we showed. The dressing room's absolutely delighted there. That's been a tough few weeks for us all where we couldn't find a win. So we've now had in what's probably kind of like a little block of 4 games this festive period. We're three out of the 4 through it, and we've done a lot of good things. So it's a really happy dressing room. Moments like that always happen on the pitch. Certain opponents come here and try and provoke you maybe, but again, if you look at what it actually did, it brought us as a team and our fans together even more. The atmosphere was, ferocious in that second half, and that's probably a strength for us to play on.
Fair to say the game plan of maybe letting Norwich have the ball and then trying to catch them out on the counter-attack, that kind of came off exactly how you were hoping.
Yeah, and it was probably slightly enforced as well at the fixture schedule and what the costs physically of the QPR performance were. If you look at our performance on Boxing Day, QPR played out from the back a lot, and we went after them very aggressively. We pressed the goalkeeper. Our central defenders were following people into midfield, which was good on the day, worked well for us. But we had some tired bodies come in the day after it, and it's not possible to just keep going out every game, especially when there's 2 or 3 days between it, and just charge around the pitch and press, especially when you face opponents like them who put players in spaces that are hard to get to. They score a lot of goals. So we knew we'd have to be patient. We knew we'd have to suffer at times, but that wasn't us being submissive and just sitting back and hoping. We had a clear plan and an idea of how we could hurt them. We also wanted to show more control in our game on the ball, and again, if I refer back to the big chance Brooke has, that comes at the end of a spell where we're moving it across the back several times from side to side, and I was delighted with how the boys at the back used the ball more today than we did against QPR.
And you've spoken a few times now about confidence, the importance of confidence, how the team can actually change with confidence. And Norwich kind of dominated that first 15 minutes or so. Did we see after the goal the potential of this side when they do have a bit of confidence?
Yeah, I think we take confidence from getting a clean sheet away at Stoke, which on the face of it on the day looked like a bit of an underwhelming game. But then when you see them a few days later go away and win, was it 3-1 at Birmingham? You realise it's a solid performance and a solid point. So that was the start of our confidence kind of growing, that we'd plugged the gaps that we're seeing at the back, and we kept a clean sheet. Then you win a game, a big game that probably had a bit of pressure on it, that game on Boxing Day, because people start talking about us and QPR's league position going into it. So when you come through an occasion like that and get a win, the confidence was there tonight before the game. And as I said, the way that game played out, for any moments where Norwich did look calm and controlled and dominant, we were fully prepared for that and fully expecting it, and knew that we'd be able to hurt them, because they've scored a lot of goals, they've also conceded a lot of goals, so this definitely wasn't a smash and grab and let's ride out and see if we can nick anything by chance. It was a very deliberate performance, and I thought the lads carried it out brilliantly. You need the quality to do it, that's the main thing. When you defend that much, it's all about what you do when you get your chance, and the quality of the players was there tonight.
First game in a while that Wes Harding missed. He's got a slight knock. Could you just let us know how he's doing and how long do you expect him to be out for?
Yeah, so Wes felt his hamstring at half-time against QPR, carried on. We got a scan the day after, and there's just a slight issue with his hamstring that will probably see him out will see him out for Bristol City. The Leicester Cup game will be touch and go, but it's probably not too much further than the Leicester game.
And obviously a bit of optimism now with the back-to-back wins. But quick turnaround around Christmas time, of course, with the fixtures. How do you feel like your players are dealing with it physically?
Well, no more tomorrow. It's definitely tough though. When you build a good run of performances and results, you get momentum. So often you do say, okay, we want the next game to come so we can build on it. It does feel like it comes very quickly. So for me, team selection won't be simple. Because again, there's been some fantastic physical shifts out there from the lads, but it does come at a cost. So, the one thing is it's the same for all the teams. We all play on a Friday and Monday, but for sure we're going to have to rest well for the next couple of days. Very little work that we get to do on the training pitch, and hope that we can dig out one more performance similar to the last 3.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
There we go then. Many thanks to the Pinkham, which is a Norwich show, local paper, what covers all of Norwich content. They're on YouTube. Just type in the Pink and you'll do it. So then, gents, nice little treat for us, which is something what we've been saying we'd love going forward. We got permission to show it. What's your thoughts? Because we don't normally get to see that, do we? Not even on the paywall stuff behind Millwall, we don't really get to see that.
Stephen, go ahead, mate.
Oh, sorry, I thought you looked like you was gonna. You looked like you was gonna go. Yeah, the thing is, also with the Pink and I did a show with them pre-match, so they're good guys over there. So yeah, if you check them out, they always put some good stuff out. On Edwards, I think it was quite clear that I think one of the listeners said it earlier, that we are now looking at opponents and looking at matching up to them and seeing and perhaps playing I'm not going to say in a different way, but we're looking at, like, for example, QPR, as Edward said, we pressed really high, we pushed centre halves were further forward. Against Norwich, we dropped a little bit deeper. Perhaps that was because Harding wasn't playing and maybe a lack of mobility, but Edwards is no mug. He might not be the best manager in the world, but he is no mug. He is learning. He's learning on the job, and I think he's starting to realise, as we all know, we know what our players are capable of. Perhaps he can get a little bit more out of them, as he says, the passing move for Norton Cuffy's chance, which was I watched it back, and it is around about 20 passes that we keep the ball and end up with a clear attempt on goal. He just looks to be settling into the role now, and it might be because we've won 2 games. It's easier to get to give him the plaudits, but I'm sure if you'd have been looking at those press conferences perhaps 2 or 3 weeks ago, you'd have been looking at a very different man.
I fully agree. Come on in, Dan, on your expertise. You've been in a few of these press conferences. What was
haven't been to one.
I mean, it was also a good shout out to Kiro, obviously from News at Den and Southwark News, where it sounded as if most of those questions actually came from him with regards to Harding and how the players are feeling and all that sort of stuff. So big shout out to you as well, Kiro. They were great questions.
Yeah, they were really good questions. So thank you to Cairo for asking those, and also thank you to the Pinken for giving us the footage once again. It's a shame on Wes Harding, but then again, Hutchinson had a good game last night. So that doesn't panic me too much, but hopefully it isn't too long. As Edward said, might be a back for Leicester, but I think even if he's 50-50, they probably won't take a chance on him in a cup game, having back for Middlesbrough and QPR, some of the more important games. So yeah, and I think Edwards is getting us. I don't think, unless you are someone like a Neil Harris or a Steve Morrison walking straight back into the club on day one, you don't get this club immediately. It will take time, but he's certainly warming to the fans already, and it was really good last night. And I agree with a lot of the stuff he said. And one thing I want to point out as well, it seemed like when we was in possession of the ball last night, we seemed to be playing a bit of a different system. It seemed to be, when we was on the ball, it seemed to be a 3-4-3, and then when we was defending, it seemed to be a 4-2-3-1, which is quite interesting. And I actually thought, at first, I thought it was going to be the 4-2-3-1. I thought maybe Amaku on the left with Murray Wallace at left back might have found Murray Wallace out a little bit. Well, I mean, it ended up being Amaku on the right with Norton Cuffy. That was like, gave me flashbacks to Jed Wallace and Marlon Romeo when they used to tear up opponents down the right-hand side. So maybe you might stick with that combination for a little bit longer. But yeah, it was really good to see. And that's often spoken about tactically, how sometimes where we're not so kind of fluid in terms of movement and on the ball and stuff. So that was a really good thing to see last night.
I also like, can I just jump in on that, Mickey? Just one other thing as well that I noticed is on the tactics. There were times as well without the ball, we actually dropped back to a 5 as well during the game, where Norton Cuffy would really drop back into the wing back role, and you'd have the 5 across. So it did feel like we had 3 different ways of playing the game with and without the ball. So as you, just to emphasize what you said, Dan, it's almost as if Edwards is thinking about, we're not just going to be the rigid, this is it and this is what we're going to do, and change it up as and when we needed to.
I think there was a few little backhand comments in that press conference where he sort of said, you know, if you thought that we just sat back, it was planned. We done that on purpose. But at no point were we concerned. We knew what they were going to be doing, and we planned. And the way that he said, and again, get in the comments if you want to say anything on there. Get in the comments, mate. If what were your thoughts on that press conference footage? I just think he knows what he wants, and I think that he's very determined to do it. He has the coaching skill to be able to achieve what he wants, compared to maybe some of the others with it, because obviously he's been training a lot of youth and managing these people. So I think he's got a lot of experience within different styles, modern styles, because obviously youth teams are now trying to train the youth teams up to the England way. And I just think, I think it's finally clicking. We'll probably go out and get beat fucking 27-0 by Bristol. But you get where, obviously I don't want that, but you get where I'm coming from. I think it's a little glimmer of light of what potentially we are going to achieve once we've got a few extra players who can do what he wants, then so thank you very much to whoever that was on Facebook who just gave us a like.
Both bodies.
It just clicked in my ears. I just had a weird noise in my ear, and I saw that come up on the screen. So yeah. Are you doing a live show from the Den on transfer deadline day? Yeah, me and Stephen are going to sit in my car on transfer deadline day, parked in the car park from the Den. Now that could be quite funny.
What we'll have Dan and Omar at the training ground. So if anyone turns up at the training ground, we've got that covered.
We've got all bases covered. We aren't having another key. We aren't having another key for more scare again in January.
We could, because to be fair, Omar and someone else we know lives very close to the training ground. And, they should just park outside and we should update and go, Range Rover's pulled into the car park. I don't know. It could be quite comical, I suppose. We'll look at doing something on deadline day. We might do a live show.
Wednesday night.
Yeah. At the end of the month, innit? It's only for the whole of January, innit? So,
yeah.
We need yellow tyres, though, gents, if we are going to do it, yeah. We need to keep up.
Well, we don't have long now. What we got? 28 hours till the transfer window opens. So I'm assuming they've got 3 loanees ready to come in and go and get
28 hours. Yeah, 28 hours. Yeah.
That comment there about Norton Cuffy. I'm going to go on record to say this, and I'm sure there'll be viewers and listeners that may not agree with me. He is the best loan player we've had since Harry Kane, without a shadow of a doubt for me.
It's a big statement.
That's a big statement.
He is absolutely superb. And I tweeted about him last night after the game, and a lot of Arsenal fans seem to have been sharing retweeting it and commenting, and people talking about him. A lot of them are saying that it's worth him getting a try back at Arsenal next season. Obviously, he's with us now. He cannot be called back. He's played enough games to do so. But honestly, that our goal. He sprinted 80 yards to catch up with Amaku and Bradshaw to be on that overlap. And it's not just that. His effort and commitment, as I say, I'd put it on record to say he's the best loan player we have had since Harry Kane.
Gents, QPR away.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're going, right?
Well, we are.
Right. We need to do line bikes. Either before or after the game, maybe line bikes, live stream all on our phones on a live stream as we're riding with some earphones, and we're doing match report, live match reaction on line bikes after the game. It's only about £6 or something for 20 minutes, so yeah, it'll be a laugh.
And someone will have footage of us going head first into a kebab shop or something because we won't be able to control the bike.
Into a bath, yeah.
Mickey can wait in Manzies. Yeah, I'd rather wait in Manzies than Arments. So Arments, whatever it is.
That's where they do the medicals, I think, now on deadline day.
What, in Manzies?
Yeah, this is your final test to see if you can sign for Millwall. You have to eat a portion of pie and mashed with jelly deals.
Oh no, jelly deals. Oh.
Never had them, mate. So I
couldn't think of anything worse. There's going to be loads of comments on there now going, no, they're lovely. Yeah, no, not for me. I would imagine he told BNC and Fleming that they should have scored. Oh, I reckon he would. Yeah. I mean, there's a good point there from Dan Riggs. Edwards isn't predictable like football under Gary Rowett. Mid-game, shape changed, etc. All out, which I agree with.
I agree with that. Rowett was very, very stubborn, and Edwards is. I think he's obviously got his principles, but I do think he's learning that there's more than one way to win a game of football, and I think it certainly comes across that way.
Yeah. JB Jr. is going to take us forward. I can see him investing more than his dad. He will want to do it his way. Yeah, I don't think you're probably far wrong there. Joe's a straight talker, doesn't seem to get too high or low, whatever the result. Jacket was the same. Have to agree on there.
100%.
QPR away 3-0 win. Christ, we didn't even ask for predictions. That's a while away yet. When's that? February, March?
No,
February.
It's January.
No, it's January.
It's not too far away, mate. About 3 weeks.
No, 20th. It's all right. For some
Tickets go on sale. Tickets go on sale on Tuesday. And that's for also for any listeners that are
At the
looking to go to
usual
QPR.
extortionate price of 37 quid.
Yeah,
No, that's
37.
upstairs. If you sit downstairs, it's cheaper.
But they,
Oh, no,
they
I
won't put
can't be asked for
downstairs
that.
on sale until upstairs is sold out. So, yeah, by the
And
time
then you
you
have to
stick
take
your
the risk.
by the time you stick your postage and packaging on top, that's 40 quid. So,
I'll just
yeah.
pick it up from the den. Just pick them up from the den. We've got
I
games
mean, I
before
might do
then.
that, to be fair.
Yeah. Didn't Coops and Webber get Boris bites? They did, mate. They did.
Yeah, they did.
On one of the biggest regretful days of my life.
Byron Webster had a really good story about that, didn't he, at the Legends Night? He spoke about them roaming through the streets of London on those bikes. Very good.
Yeah. Don't worry, Mike. We're not going into a food show again. We left that last week. So, yeah. Be like Hell's Angels invading Shepherd's Bush and Lime. Do you know what? It'll be so funny, wouldn't it, to get loads of us somewhere close and then we just all ride in. That would fuck the old bill right up, wouldn't it? Because they wouldn't know what to do with us. All down to Shepherd's Bush and then just get loads of Lime bikes outside Shepherd's Bush station and just ride to the stadium. And then just leave them dumped up all over the streets next to the stadium. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no one cares. We don't like a bit thing. And if anyone from Lime Bikes is watching and wants to give us, a few free rides, then we're more than happy to get involved. This will be clipped and this will go out just for you Lime Bike people. So, yeah, Hoof and Kutch both trying to play passes last night instead of hoofing it. They actually look more confident. Yeah.
100%. Do you know what, on that, and I mentioned this last night as well, the back four, when it was a four, was all signed by Neil Harris. And whilst they're not going to last forever and it won't work every single time, it was amazing to see a back four of Ryan Leonard, Sean Hutchinson, Jake Cooper, and Murray Wallace stand up and defend for their lives.
We're missing Marlon for it to be the proper old school rear guard, aren't we?
Or Bart in goal, yeah. If you had Bart in goal,
imagine.
it would have been old school Harris.
That's it. I think Tony's got a point now. I reckon this morning, every manager what's coming to us soon will be telling their players, do not fucking provoke that crowd. You provoke that crowd, we have lost. And I reckon now Joe will be playing our players into these situations. Because I reckon that right? Ashley Barnes ain't gonna. He's a proven professional for many, many years. He will not turn like that unless he's been goaded for a while. And there's probably been some good old-fashioned sledging, mate, going on. And it just got to a stage where he just didn't take it and reacted. I mean, let's be honest. If you're going to take Cooper down, the only way you're going to take him down is by doing something like that, because the cunt's fucking like a giraffe. Do you know what I mean? You ain't going to fucking stick a hook on him, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Do you know the other thing as well with that? This is where Saville was a bit of a blow. Again, the cup's not the end of the world, but George Saville is a wind-up merchant. You could tell in the video after when him and Honeyman were probably niggling at Barnes, like rattling him, Cooper rattling him, Hutchinson rattling him. Imagine Murray Wallace probably as a bit to say as well. And that's the sort of thing. They're the sort of players that when we talk about the Millwall way and everyone talks about the effort and commitment, it's that understanding of just keep winding them up and knowing that that's how you get the crowd on side, by getting a tackle or a reaction or something.
See, Glenn's got a point there with Edwards. He's worked with Premier League academy players and senior players. He knows when a player is underperforming. And there was a comment earlier on, which I'm not going to pile back into because it's fucking right up the list. But they turned around and said, was he right in coming out and slating the players like 3 games in? I think he was, because it's I think he's cemented where he is, that he's with the boys. But for him to be with you, you've got to basically show him that you give a fuck. If you just want to collect your wage, then this ain't the place for you. If you want to work and get looked after, then this is where you need to be. Other than that, no. But I think last night was just, it showed that Millwall, we got a glimpse, we got to see a glimpse of our old Millwall, didn't we?
And
Yeah.
also on that, what you just said there about the players that are willing to work and put the effort in. That's probably why Joe Edwards is all over Tom Bradshaw at the moment. He's, when he takes him off, it's the high five, the hugging, he's all over him, full of praise for him all the time. And I actually thought, whilst Tom, he's got a good goal, good movement in the box, as you said, Mickey, last night. The service is key for him to score those kind of goals.
He's in one of them little patches at the moment, isn't he? Where he gets quite a few. He's just hit one of them.
But do you notice as well, when he scores a goal, the work rate, he finds another level to work even harder to chase the ball down and get across the pitch. And as you said, Mick, if a player is going to come along and work hard for the team, he's got a place in Joe Edwards' squad. And I think Bradshaw, whilst I had said previously, I thought he was one that would be shown the door.
Say this, yeah. Didn't you say when
I did.
Came in, we picked out a couple each, and I think I did agree with you. I'm not going to completely throw you under the bus, but you did say Bradshaw.
I thought Bradshaw would be gently phased out of the side, but I've got that wrong because I think at the moment he's one of Edwards' favourites, and rightly so.
I think
after the last couple of games.
So's Murray Wallace.
Yeah, I've got to give kudos to Murray Wallace for last night. He's someone who I've given a lot of stick to, but I thought he was excellent last night. And I actually think, obviously, we know Brian has his fitness issues. There's a reason why he only played 70 against QPR and in the end didn't even come on at all last night. And then you've also, I think it's kind of the same as well with the Bradshaw situation, why he's in the team a little bit in this bit. Because fitness issues, obviously, we know Nisbet's had them as well. But as a professional footballer, when these chances come around, you've got to take them, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. That's it.
Oh, I don't know if you boys can see the comments before they come up, but
I can.
This is just Millwall, mate. Did anyone see one of the Norwich coaching staff spray water at the crowd behind them? A second later, a cup of tea came back at them. It was like the old days last night.
So I heard, and there was a couple of people talking about it on Twitter, that it was actually Ashley Barnes when he got when he was taken off, he had the right arm and squirted the sports bottles they have, and that's why the tea was thrown back. It might have been the coaching staff, but I'd heard that it was actually Barnes. Even when he was taken off, he couldn't help himself. He was so rattled by the occasion.
No, look, last night we had one of our group giving the Norwich doctor some stick. That is how hostile we were making it. It's evil, but it's fucking brilliant. It reminds me very much of the Huddersfield playoff game where, and again, go back on something what Neil Harris said that time when we met him, it was one of the first times he'd gone to the Den and he'd come out before and there weren't a kid or a woman really in the audience, in the stadium. It was all men. And he said you could literally smell the tension, smell the violence in that stadium. And that's what you need. I don't care if the day trippers come, the day trippers are there. Listen, I'm never going to say I don't want day trippers because of thing. They drive me mad, but it's money for the club. And if you want to be able to invest in players, invest in infrastructure, invest in stuff, unfortunately, that is one of the sacrifices you've got to do because it is football. That's the way football's gone. It's all about money. And that is it, mate.
Can I just add in just before we move?
We'll come back to that question, Alex. All right, we'll come back to that in a bit.
One of our listeners, John and his wife Tracy, they sit in front of me, and Tracy,
John.
Coach. He was on the table at the.
Yeah, so everyone knows John. John is obviously Junior Lions. John,
yeah. And I get hammered every week because I am too negative towards Murray Wallace.
And he wears shorts.
And no, it's Murray Wallace. I'm not. I target him, and so for the record, Murray Wallace was absolutely superb last night. I'll give credit when it's due. He had been going for a rough spell, but last night, no complaints. So that's me ticking a box.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there.
Yeah. He's always
good evening, Arthur. Hope you have a happy New Year, mate.
Yeah,
have a happy New Year.
Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
So do we?
Oh, he's came back. We won't throw. Oh.
We won't throw tea at you. What team do you support, Arthur? Come on in, fella. You're big sitting there in your fucking stained wire fronts, giving it the keyboard. What team do you support then? What do you reckon? QPR, Leeds?
No, I reckon he's Norwich.
Norwich.
Oh,
He's
dear.
got to be Norwich, and yeah, he's got to be. And Mike just commented up there. How was
Oh, here
my
he goes.
journey-
I told you.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, he's Leeds. He commented before, actually. I remember the name. Yeah.
Have you got just go and see your family, mate? Do you know what I mean? Surely you've got something better to be doing than watching three lads talk about your football, talk about a football club that's not yours.
Well, we can either put him in timeout, or we can just ban him and delete all his comments.
I think we just leave him. To be honest, he seems
So
to be
just
getting
put in
quite
the
worked up.
comments. Do you want us to leave him, time him out, or should we just ban him? So ban, leave, or time.
Oh, we're getting threatened if we turn up now.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, mate, what,
Okay.
you brave boys sitting on the footbridge fucking with your bottles of piss? Mate, just go see your sister.
Mike, back to my journey home with my Norwich supporting mate was absolutely superb. It was fantastic journey home. That's all I need to say, really.
The comments that are pouring in now, this is exactly what happened last night when Ashley Barnes got going. They pulled the line's tail.
Yeah, that's it. Arthur Bushby is the equivalent of Ashley Barnes.
At the
Got a
moment,
couple
mate,
of people saying
two
leave.
of them are leaving. We've got Northern Ponce. Mate, ask West Ham. Yeah, all right. You must be about fucking 12. Do you know what I mean? You just, yeah. I think it's funny. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to out him. Arthur Busby is actually Ashley Barnes.
Still rattled after last night.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Listen, you wouldn't have trolls being left on, would you? Just giving us untold amount of fucking joy, especially when he's really focused and he's obviously found us by whatever reason, and he's coming on with stuff and he's just coming out with, mate, you know, he's got to be 12, isn't he? I mean, who the fuck would use his Ponce? Got no good players, you Ponce. How the fuck are we a Ponce? We got a YouTube channel. What are we poncing? What? Oh, please, Arthur, come and watch us. Don't be a twat. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell, mate. Tearing me. If you're gonna stay on this, have some interesting conversation. Tell us, are you going to let us have Creswell back in January, or are you actually going to play him or not? You know, you seem to be ruining the player's career, mate, by not playing him. But you know, I'm happy for you to come back on and what you call it. So yeah, don't worry, Millwall Holdings. Arthur is staying because he's comical gold. So yeah, just remember that the comments you're coming in with, just keep them fairly level. Do you know what I mean?
That's quality. Are you Gary Rowett's burner account?
Arthur, are you Gary Rowett in disguise? Or are you West Ham in disguise? Run you at the old den. What shithole ground that was. Oh, so there we go. So we've aged him then. He's got to be about 50-ish, which makes it even more embarrassing now that he's about a 50-year-old coming onto a Millwall account. Leeds people are still using 2GO. Yeah. What now? It's a bit of a long journey for us, mate. We're based in a proper part. We're the ones who pay for everything up in Leeds for our taxis down here, mate. So, you know, it's about 4 hours really to you. And to be honest with you, don't really fancy the drive at the minute.
Moving away from
Arthur. Good morning, Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Oh,
hello, Paul.
I would drop you a text when I'm off this, Paul. Sorry, I still haven't got round to it, but I will do it whenever I come off tonight.
Wow. Christ. Well, I don't even know his number.
Yeah, priorities, mate.
Sorry, Dan's just put a comment there. Arthur, enjoy Emmerdale when you're hot pot tonight and let the real people talk. Oh God. Oh.
We're now being attacked for our dress sense.
Okay. Look, at the end of the day, right? It's YouTube.
Go
It's
on.
public. It's public. But
Go on,
why would you watch a Millwall? I don't get it. I would have no time to watch a Leeds
Right.
podcast. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, right. I'm with Tony now. We'll ignore him unless he says something
Chris
completely
is,
outrageous.
He's just pissed off. They don't have line bikes in the shithole neck of the woods. Oh,
Right, Stephen, pick something you want to talk about on yesterday's game. Go.
I think we should talk about, and this one's controversial for Mickey because I've already said this to him, and I'm not sure he agrees. How Ryan Leonard is currently our player of the season, in my opinion.
This is actually a good talking point. Who, if they said you have to do your player of the season now, top 3, who would you go? What would be?
And that's
your
also
top 3.
That is also for the listeners. If you can put
that's
1, 2, and 3.
listeners. Yeah.
If you were voting for player of the season,
I'll put mine out. I'll put mine out there now. Early doors. I'll have Brooke Norton-Cuffy at number 3.
Number 1.
I would have Casper as number 2, and I would have Ryan Leonard as number 1.
I would switch Norton-Cuffy and Casper. I would go Leonard 1, Norton-Cuffy 2, Casper De North 3. Mickey?
I would go Cuffy 1. Saville 2, Leonard 3. Actually, yeah, right now, that's probably what I would go. But I can see towards the end of the season that I've got a feeling that Fleming's going to come back on. And also, I think that Casper De North probably is going to come back into it. And also, I can see Bradshaw going on a run.
Well, the thing is for me, with Norton-Cuffy, I think we've been, and so I'd take the point on board. Someone said to me the other day that because we haven't been so good, obviously we've been noticing that a defender perhaps is stealing the limelight in terms of Leonard. But if Norton-Cuffy continues to add goals and assists to his game, I think it'd be it would be very, very hard to see him not winning it. But as of right now, Leonard pips it for me. But I think
to be honest, them 3 or 4 at this point in time they are the people. I'm struggling to think of anyone else.
That's the best comment, by the way. There's only one Jimmy Abdu.
For the benefit of the guys who watch this on Spotify and don't see the comments, the comment that's just been put by Millwall Holdings was he's got the ump after he lost his deposit when he booked his hotel in London for the playoff final after Little Millwall knocked Leeds out. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I couldn't have Bart in there as my player of the season. I like the bloke. Sarkic is a better goalkeeper. It's 3 clean sheets on the bounce now. He looked quite assured. He's looked quite assured in the last few games. I think Sarkic has, to be completely honest. If Bart was still our number 1, then maybe. But for me, I can't pick someone who's played started 10 or 15 games in a season. He might come back in. Sarkic might get injured again. I hope he doesn't.
And also with Sarkic, we were a 96-minute penalty away from having 4 clean sheets in a row.
Yeah.
So it's not. He's come back in, and whilst the Leicester performance was very, very iffy, shall we say?
And Cardiff.
He's been very assured.
Yeah.
He's been very assured in the last
I'm going to pop Tony's comment up. I think we've already had it on. I'm just going to pop it back on because I think we've just flipped past it. Do you think he will be off in? I personally can't see a way where the club move him on in January. I just think, still given our position, I think to be honest, I think his stock's taken so much of a battering. They'll be hoping second half of the season that he might come good. Like obviously Mickey thinks he will. I don't see a way where he continues to not make the contributions that he was getting last season. I think he will come good again. Maybe the club will like to hold him and then try and sell him back for a bit more money in the summer than 4. Obviously, we know they were after 15 in the summer just gone.
Just can I just as
you're gone.
As you know, with facts and all this, that we like to fact check when people start giving it. Okay, Arthur, just to educate you, we have played 41 games competitively between Leeds and Millwall, and Leeds have won 18. Millwall's won 18 games, Leeds have won 18 games, and we've drawn 5. So, looks like it's a draw at the minute, fella. So go away and get something better. Fuck's sake. Sorry, gents. I hate it.
On the subject of Fleming, I think I would be surprised if he goes in the January transfer window on the basis.
I don't think he will.
That his season's not been particularly good. If the club are banking on trying to make money off of him next summer, with his contract situation, he's been here for 2 years. The likelihood is he'll have 1 year left on his deal. So again, that would be an interesting scenario. But unless a Premier League club towards the bottom of the league come in and go, we desperately need reinforcements. I don't know. I think he'll stay. I think he'll stay. And I thought we've said it enough times on this show. He's not a winger, and he actually played quite well on the wing. Yes, I saw that comment earlier. I had a little chuckle.
Just for people listening on YouTube, on podcast, Chris Brown has said, Mickey, challenge him to a is my dick bigger than yours contest. He would run a mile. So, if you are listening to this on a podcast, you are going to have to come back and watch this on YouTube just to see some of the comments what are coming up, because obviously we can't read them all out, mate. We really can't read them all out. Does Arthur have a girlfriend yet, or is he still visiting laundry websites? That went well the other day, didn't it? West Brom 1, Leeds 0. Sorry, go on, come back. We'll come back. Sorry, the comments are fucking comedy gold. So you're gonna have to come back and watch this. By the way, if you are listening on a pod, I do apologise. Cuffy has been unbelievable and just keeps getting better and better. If he carries on this into the second half of the season, he will win Player of the Year by a mile.
The problem is you can't fall in love with a lone player. I mean, I feel like we already have.
You can't, no.
But
you can't.
This is where, though, and as much as I agree with that, and as much as we give him a bit of stick, obviously Rowett and Aldo sourced and Coffee.
Aldo. It's Aldridge. Or it's Aldridge, isn't it? So it's no, it's not Aldo, it's Aldo. Yeah, Aldo.
They did source Brook Norton Coffee. So, they can get it right on the odd occasion. But I think
there's an interesting question for you. Now, did Aldo get Coffee, or was it Rowett, or did Joe Edwards give him a heads up for Coffee?
No, I don't think.
It wouldn't have been Joe.
Only because of the England connection. Listen, I'm making viral bits there where people will just go run a mile with that. But
I think whoever it was, stroke of genius. Obviously, Rowett would have seen him twice last year against Coventry and Rotherham. I
personally think that Rowett probably said that I want a right back, probably given Danny McNamara's drop off second half of last season and start of this season. And I think Rowett would have said this: I want a right back. Who can you get me? And Aldo's gone. There's the list of players, and they've gone. We want him.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
So, Arthur, while you're here, can you just subscribe as well? Thanks. Listen, I want 2,000 subs, mate, and that's a way of getting it, mate. So, I don't care. We won't get Charlie or Cuffy. No, I think you're probably right. All depends really with Arsenal how well they're doing or how poorly they do this season. But a lot of teams are doing really poor this season, aren't they? I mean, across the board. I mean, I don't know what the Man City score was tonight, but Man
They won
City.
2-0. Man United
Okay.
lost 2-1 to Forest. For anyone who doesn't know, that was the 5:30 kickoff.
Wow. Crystal Palace win.
Yeah,
they did. The big Brentford.
Now,
The thing is, with
Brentford are banging trouble. I mean, in a way, I'm not shocked because obviously I've lost Tony and now Mbuemo's injured, but it's not it's not great, is it?
No, and I think that's this again across the board. There's a lot of teams at each level of football. Doesn't matter if you're in the Premier League, Championship, League One. There's so many teams that are so-called the bigger teams in each division. You can't all compete for the top. You know there is going to be a drop-off. So the comments there on Norton Cuffy, Arsenal, we did look after Ballard. We now have looked after Norton Cuffy. Maybe that is an avenue that we can look to explore moving forward. I'd love us to try and sign Norton Cuffy, but he's an England under-21 international. He's highly thought of at Arsenal by all accounts. That it's probably going to be a tough ask. Will he get into the Arsenal team? Probably not.
That should be the other way round, by the way. It should be Arsenal giving us cash and Brooke Norton Cuffy for SA.
Ooh. That's a journalist in him, you see, playing with words.
No, that's what I'd say. It's my opinion. Views my own.
I think you're right, though. I think that would be an option I would take because someone else said up there. Look, where is it? Hang on. That one. Biggest surprise for me under Joe Edwards is SA's lack of game time. Is he not as good as we thought, or is he off? I don't necessarily think he's off because if he was, they'd still be playing him to obviously get unless they're worried that he's going to get injured. But I think he's probably not as good as what he thought he was, or as people thought he was, considering that Joe Edwards has probably got a much more better understanding of youth players and development than probably Rowett had or other people there.
I think this might be a bit of a rogue shout, but I can see SA leaving the club on loan in January and getting him back next summer, having been played some men's football, perhaps in League One and League Two, and actually get him playing regular minutes where the risk isn't necessarily on us in terms of throwing him into the heat of the championship. I can see that perhaps being there was a question, how many departures, it's up on the screen, will we see many departures on loan in Jan? Can't imagine Danny and Billy happy bench warming. Billy Mitchell's probably going to get a run of at least 3 games in the team with Sav now being suspended, so he'll get his opportunity. But I can see SA going out on loan and getting some match experience. I don't necessarily agree with that, and I don't want that to happen. I'd rather him stay with us. But if you're not going to play him, you might as well get him first team football.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Would you what on that comment on that one then, Dan? You know your football period quite well.
We have not got a hope in hell of signing Diallo. Not a chance. I'll be honest. I would genuinely be surprised. No, sorry, I would not be surprised if the loan fee for Diallo alone was more than our club record fee just to have him on loan for 6 months.
SA's been looked after. Joe has already said this. Keepers barked at 4 or 5 games to stop making errors, which cost us goals. Same thing for Sarkic. He seems to have found consistency now. Bit camp maybe, but is this manager Joe the best looking? Fucking all penis and fucking. Do you know what I mean? And now bit camp, but maybe this is Joe the best looking Millwall manager we've ever had. Taken from Pat via Facebook.
Yeah, taken from Pat. Okay. Yeah.
If SA's not getting game time, will his England under-21 place be in jeopardy? Don't know.
Possibly.
I'm not sure because if you look at a lot of the
was a looker.
If you look at a lot of the players that play for the England, I think it's under-20s. They're not that are at Arsenal, that are at Man City, they're at Liverpool. They're not playing in the first team, so I don't necessarily think his place would be under threat. Having at the moment, and if he's playing regular first team football elsewhere, i.e., on loan, that would only make it surely beneficial that he's playing more. So when he goes to England, he'll have more minutes in the legs.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So yeah, not many comments now. It's all slowed down a bit. So yeah, I mean, give us a question, gents. What will kick the comments off?
That comment there from Alex. Surely we need to utilise links with Harris and get players off to Cambridge on loan. He'll know what they need to get into Millwall's first team. That could well be a way of perhaps getting a couple of players out of the door if you wanted to free
if
up
Kenny
some space.
Jackett's still at Gills, then there's another one. You've got League One and League Two option there possibly.
Yeah. I see. Do you see a bit off subject? Scott Malone scored the winner for Gillingham.
That was a great goal, wasn't it?
It was, but apparently he shushed the fans because he'd been getting some stick, and he's not learning, is he? He's not.
Yeah, that sounds.
He's too good for He's too good for League Two. But
he is, yeah.
I think Joe is
Still
waiting
went there,
to bring
though.
in a few of his types of players in, and then we will see SA thrive. Perhaps. But maybe that's the thing. Maybe it is a different style of play that would suit SA a little bit more. But this is what I'm saying. If you're not playing, then get them out on loan. And I can see the comment that you're...
Jacket, yeah. He looked like a hamster. Holloway is a rat. The Docker gerbil. So can you give us a manager rundown of different animals, as in what manager is what? What would Holloway... What would Lomas be?
Gary? No. Gary Rowett. What would Gary Rowett be? There you go, listeners.
Yeah. Give us Gary. What do you think Gary Rowett? What animal would be Gary Rowett, and what animal would be Neil Harris? I think there'll probably be some decent players coming in January.
There was a rumor, wasn't there, about there's a young fella at Spurs that we were looking at.
I've literally just been looking down my Twitter feed, and there was someone from the Mirror. I can't remember it. Mickey, you might know his name. He's
John
done Mill
Cross.
before. No, not John Cross. He's done Mill before.
Oh, yeah. Dan, you're on about Dan Marsh.
Yeah, that's the one. He's literally just tweeted, probably within the last 10, 15 minutes, that Tottenham would be willing to send him out on loan in January.
It's the striker, isn't it? It's the Jude Sunsock Bell.
Yeah, he's got 14 goal contributions in 12 games in the Premier League 2 this season.
Yeah, I saw that the other day, that he was one that potentially that we were looking at. The comments you got. Peter Sullivan, Harris a bulldog, Rowett a tortoise, Chewy Louis ferret, Daniel Weasel, Gary Rowett, which is and Glenn, didn't we get BNC in the summer long before GR left? Yeah, we did. We were just summarising. Was it Rowett or Alex Aldridge who were sorry, that comment just done me.
One sec. Thank you, Tommy. All the best. Happy New Year to you, son. Even though it's tomorrow, I know, or the day after. But yeah, thank you very much. We got some good things coming for next year, hopefully. If I can make sure that these boys fucking all pull the finger out their asses. But yeah, no, I'm joking.
Wow. Going on strike now.
Yeah, that's it.
Fucking hell. I don't know if I notice a difference. That's probably a good one, actually, Stephen, for you to tell the listeners what you've got coming up in February for
that is true.
Wine Charity.
That is true. I'm going
to earn your money.
No,
don't worry about Ben. We'll do Ben later on. Just do yours.
Okay. Right. So for the guys in the chat, I am running a 24-hour gaming stream on behalf of Mind Charity. I did a very similar thing a few years ago, which was relatively successful. I've decided to do it again. It's the first weekend in February, this Friday the 2nd through obviously at 12 o'clock, and then we'll run through to Saturday the 3rd. It will mean that I won't be on the live that Friday night. I'm sure you guys will be absolutely devastated at that. And
he will be. He won't be doing a full show, but he will be.
I'll be around. I'll be in the comments. But
who reckons I should play him? Who reckons that a live show on that Friday when it starts that I should challenge him to a game of FIFA live on a show.
If we play FIFA, mate, you're going to get absolutely hammered. That's all I'm going to say. Call of Duty, you might be a bit better than me, but yeah, I am. I'm doing this. It's for Mind Charity. I know this time of year is really difficult with funds and stuff. I'm not expecting anybody to donate, but if you would like to, I'm going to put the link up in there. I'm going to put the link in the chat. For anybody that's watching this back that can't see the comments, if you drop me a message on Twitter or drop the pod a message, we can get the link over to you. It has just gone into the chat, my Just Giving page. If you'd like to play as well during the 24 hours, I usually play FIFA and Call of Duty, so they'll be the games that I'll be playing. If you'd like me to take on Mickey, of course, we can have a little bit of perhaps a friendly wager on that.
Can you do a Millwall career mode?
Well, I am working on something at the moment in the background, ready to go live. I don't want to give too much away. I'll tell you boys off the camera, but I am working on something on that.
I think I have another. If not, I'm going to give you another idea, but we won't say it. I won't say it out loud.
But I can't believe you just text that, Stephen, that you're looking to do an OnlyFans live stream as well to make more money for mine. By showing you in shorts. That's bad.
Mickey, the OnlyFans connoisseur here is you. You are the one that's got the badge, so we'll leave that to you. But also, guys, later on in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about what Ben is also doing. He's doing something else, a fantastic call. So again, look, there's no expectation.
Fuck him, he's not here.
No, I know, but. No, I'm true to my word. I will give him a plug a little bit later.
We'll put both their Just Giving pages into the description of the show afterwards.
Yeah.
And we'll give it a print. We'll give it a plug on the socials and all that lot.
Yeah. Also, if
people can donate, then please do, because otherwise they will not shut the fuck up for the next month.
I'm going to be posting this maybe once a week for the next couple of weeks, and then when it gets closer to the actual date, I'll be pushing it a lot more. So you guys, if you follow me on social media, you're going to be
unfollowing
and probably unfollow or mute me or do whatever you do. But
I thought you were going down.
Greatly appreciated.
Going where?
I thought you were going at 8:00.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot off in a second. Give it a couple more minutes of
Mrs. Doubtfire. What was a comment about? Was there a comment about Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, someone said Mark McGee looked like an.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's because I put the comments up and I look at them briefly and then put them up just to make sure they're not too.
Dan has done. Dan was doing a few of them.
Yeah, I did a few of them when you looked away for a second.
I know, you fucking fuck up my order, didn't you? So yeah. Someone once said that Kenny Jackett looked more like the man that comes to read the gas meter than a football manager. That was in an article once, wasn't it? Yeah, I think I remember that. There you go. I thought he was going to say running for 24 hours.
Well, that actually leads me on quite nicely. I will do this at this point as well. The second member of That Millwall podcast who are doing a charitable event is our Northern correspondent, Ben. He is planning on running 50 miles in January, not in one go. I don't think any of us at That Millwall podcast can do it all in one go.
I've done a marathon.
Yeah, it's not 50 miles though, is it?
Have you done a marathon?
No, but it's still not 50 miles.
It's 26.6 miles, 26.4 miles.
Yeah, and Ben's doing 50. So he's running it on behalf of the Royal British Legion. Again, I said I'd give him a plug. Again, if you follow him on social media, he'll be posting this all out, his link and stuff. So that has also gone into the chat. Again, no pressure on anyone to donate, but if you could support either of us, that would be greatly appreciated. Mickey is showing us his marathon medal at the moment. My ambition is to be in a position to perhaps run a marathon. Hope maybe not aim maybe for this year, but that might be a bit of a push.
I know a few charities with spaces if you want one.
Probably a bit too soon for me on my health kick at the moment, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, the no pressure to donate to either of us, but if you would like to, it would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, I'd rather people subscribe than donate, to be honest. But that's
again, if you can like and subscribe, get us to 2,000, because like Mickey said, that Ben and I won't be shutting up about our donations. Mickey won't be shutting up until we actually get to 2,000, and you don't have to deal with the WhatsApp messages and the phone calls and the voice notes. So please like and subscribe, please.
To be fair, you did get a message last night about 3:30 in the morning, though, didn't you? There was a message on the group last night about 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
Right, gents, I'm gonna love you and leave you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks,
bye, Daniel. Have a lovely New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you to all
I'll
our
get
listeners.
I'll get that video of Dan up. Hello, mate. You all right? Sorry.
No, thanks to all the listeners for listening to me waffle on and be continuously negative throughout the whole of 2023. So I look forward to doing it all again with you all next year. But thank you very much. I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Stephen and Mickey for the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
Very professional. Wow.
I'm getting better at this hosting stuff, aren't I? Right. Seriously. Seriously. See you later, gents. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Laters. Bye.
See you, mate.
Oh, yeah, it's gone.
Then there was 2.
Jacket was Mr. Potato Head. Remember when Radnot, kicked the ball, that's on our Twitter account and Instagram. I posted it the other day actually when we played QPR. So yeah, look, marathon. That's what they're called. Snickers now.
Oh dear, you've got a few comments to go through there as well.
Where is Mickey's fan of the board medal? I haven't got it, and I haven't got my exec lounge passes either. So yeah, I struggle to drive 50 miles nowadays. Yeah, me and you both. Didn't know you could do a marathon from the back of a taxi. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I didn't do it from the back of a taxi. I've done it. Can I plug my very, very, very small YouTube site on here? Not competing with anyone. With you, just Action and Vars times Millwall being mentioned on TV, etc. We'll be adding more stuff. Nice job, subscribers. No problem at all, mate. Just put it in the comments, mate.
Yeah, like and subscribe over.
We are not so far up our own arse, mate, that you can, if you've got another channel and it's Millwall content, or even if it's fucking stamp collecting and you think people want to do it and you want to and you want to plug it, I've got no issues, mate. Just crack on. Don't have to ask, just crack on. Put it in the comments, mate. So Gary Rowett, an elephant, where is it? Dan's off to catch 8:37 from London Bridge to Bermondsey.
That's a shame he wasn't there for that. That would have been a good way to leave it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Latest, Dan. Harris a Lion. Yeah. Pretty much end of the year show then, mate. Yeah. I think it's just, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in and listened to us. We've had nearly 500,000 viewers on YouTube over the last year, which is humongous. About 1,000 odd subscribers as well. So thank you very much for each and every one of you for there. Pretty close to 100,000 for the podcast as well. So yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And also a massive thanks to all the lads what have come on, Ben, Dan, Stephen, Chaps and all that lot what found their own thing now. They've been here a little while. And Joe. And obviously Omar, who I started this with a very weird idea of where we wanted to be and where we are now. So yeah, it's going. We've got a plan. It will grow. We've got some more things for next year, and hopefully just really make it good for you, lads and ladies, and everyone who tunes in each week and listens to us. And hopefully we just keep you entertained. And if we don't, then there are plenty of other channels you can go listen to. So yeah, we're not, we're not trying to take over the world, contrary to some people's beliefs, but we're just there to provide good content, and hopefully we entertain you with a bit of difference rather than just the norm as such. I have to say though, Stephen, from your first show, if you've not seen it, go back about a year or so and you'll see Stephen's first show. and then see where he is now. We seem to it does seem to help with confidence and bringing people out and everything else. So yeah, I think it's been good. Even negative Dan. Look at Kai. Kai started with us when he was about 16, 17, and now he's chief press officer at Millwall Lionesses.
Absolutely,
yeah.
and I would say, obviously, to everyone that listens, that comments, my Twitter has gone nuts since doing this. Obviously, people are more interested in following and tweeting and messaging, and you go to games and people recognise you and talk to you and stuff. And we do it because we love Millwall. We love talking about it. It's good when they win. It's a bit naff when they lose, but it's very, very much appreciated, all the people that spend their time. I often say I find it amazing that we even get 10 people watch us. So when some of the videos that we do get the numbers that they do it's very, very appreciated. And as Mickey says, we've got a lot of stuff hopefully to look forward to in 2024. We appreciate all the support that you give us, the banter, the comments about Schultz and OnlyFans and negative Dan and
I think it's
all this kind of stuff.
Can we get a shout out for Detroit Lions? You take on Dallas tonight. It's like Millwall West Ham without the knife fights. Yeah, they've all got AR-15s. yeah. No, you can give it a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, look, there is this. If you're you got a business or anything else, and you want to get involved, or you want to look at maybe sponsoring, or you want to look at conversations around that, get in touch. If you think that you've sat through this a lot and you want to, you could have your name like that. If you want to possibly be on some shows, some pre-records or something, maybe next year, it's really easy. Just drop us an email at info@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk. You can even, if you've got any ideas for shows, what you think might work, again, do it on there. Don't do it public because people will nick it. I spoke about doing shows with past games and someone else stole the idea as well. So, it is what it is. So, yeah, congratulations to Acton for making the shortlist for the podcast of the year things. That was the one we were up for last year, but we didn't make it this year. But if you, it's not always about making it; it's about being in there, and it's good. It's good fun. So, congratulations for him. Follow his Twitter account, and you'll see on there how to vote for him. And look, we're all Millwall, mate, and it's all good to stick together. So, yeah. Good evening, Monica. Hope you're well. Next time we go out, you'll have to bring your mum instead of your dad, won't you? Do you know what I mean? It's been a brilliant time. You guys are funny.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that, mate.
Wonder who that was, Mickey, but no idea, mate. I know. Happy New Year to you all Millwall fans around the world, even the Germans. Is that Jimmy Fixit badge for Mickey? No. Where's Dan from? Is it what's his name? Is it Dan? Is it from Tony? So Tony, it's New Year's Eve now over your way, isn't it? New Year's Eve morning, isn't it? In New Zealand now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, they'll be 12 hours ahead, won't they? Ish.
Yeah, about that. So
8 hours, wherever it is, it'd be New Year's Eve there. But yeah, guys, I guess we play Bristol City on New Year's Day. We won't be doing a show obviously tomorrow night for obvious reasons, hence why we're doing it tonight. We probably won't be doing a show after Bristol City, as in on Monday. But we'll be back perhaps with a pre-record or something, and then back.
We'll be back in a week,
schedule.
Tuesday.
Yeah. We'll be back.
We might do a live afterwards because it's an early kickoff, isn't it?
I think it's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, yeah.
But it's at 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
but
we might not.
As I say, we'll be back to the normal schedule of Friday, Sunday, probably from next week for the cup game. As I say, we can look to Bristol City if there's anyone for the final.
Give us your predictions.
Yeah, I was going to say, give us a prediction,
mate. I think we're close. We are close to
2000.
We are, yeah, we're really close.
Go on, what is
It's
it?
not
What's the
telling me a
figure?
number on there.
Oh well,
1,900. When were you born?
1991.
Oh no, we're on 1990. So 10 more subs. 10 more subs to get us over before the end of 2024.
Mhm.
So
We'll if you can do that,
get your
if you can do
wives,
that-
your kids, anyone else. So yeah.
Second email addresses, work email addresses, do whatever you like. But as Mickey said earlier, we try to make this for the fans. We try to make it interactive. We couldn't do it necessarily without all of your comments. So
Arthur's back.
oh, and Arthur's back. He's been quiet. Bristol City 5 Millwall 1. Why don't you put a bet on that, Arthur? Why don't you go and put some money on that and see how you get on with that?
To book his take 20 pence pocket money.
But yeah, I mean, at this point, it sounds like we're sort of overdoing it a bit, but all the support is massively appreciated. And I'm going to go with a 2-0 Millwall win to kick off 2024.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2-1, 2-0, 2-1. But you know, we are up for a good win, I think, at some point. So, you know, could we have everyone hit it on the run? Yeah, no, I'm gonna go 2-1. You watch, we'll end up beating them 5-1 now.
Well,
we're beating them 5-1. Do you know what I mean? Bristol was my first game back after Ipswich, so 3-0 to the Lions. Yeah, he broke his toe, didn't he? And he couldn't ride. So he's off down the pit now. Yeah. There are some new bits and pieces coming out, and I'm looking to want to do a show to give you more information on it. The all this stuff what's coming out with this new police bill, where they're looking to potentially put it into NICU for tailgating into stadiums or forcing your way into stadiums. I'm looking to look at that. I've got the report and I've looked through it, and you know, as always with football headlines, it's all about the football fans when actually it's not. They're saying about the cocaine increase and all this lot is across sports in general, horse racing, football, rugby, etc., etc. But the other bit, what is still interesting and still breaking at the moment as such, there's not loads of information out there, is that the Premier League seems to have pulled the deal off the table for the Championship clubs regarding the money from the TV revenue, what's supposed to be coming in, I think, next season. And I think there was the first year was a £44 million payment, and then the second year was about 88 million. And it seems as if Luton has thrown a bit of a strop on there or so. But I am in the process of trying to find out some more bits and pieces on that. And obviously, come next year, we'll do some more shows on those, some pre-records and stuff with some experts. Let's answer this one question. I told Alex I will come back to it. Is survival still the main aim this season, or are the playoffs still an outside chance?
I personally think that given the issues that we had back end of last season with the Blackburn game rolling over, John Berylson's sad passing, Rowett leaving after years of stability, we'd love to dream for the playoffs, but I think just make sure you're in this division next year and give Edwards a real go at next summer, building a team to then take on this division. For me, that's I would be happy with that personally.
No, I think that's probably about right. Obviously, make sure you donate some money to Stephen and Benjamin. Links and that will be put up in this show description. So those of you watching, or if you're listening to it as a podcast, I will put them in the show description on the podcast too, once they send it to me. Happy New Year to you. I think Millwall should look at this as a rebuild season and look to challenge next season. Glenn says only 21 points from survival. No one would have thought going into this Christmas season that we would have had 6 out of 6 so far, would you? You didn't expect it, did you? I mean, the four games that we had over this Christmas period, when Dan, I think, asked a couple of shows back, you were talking about 4 or 5 points, weren't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, considering that after the Huddersfield last minute equaliser, that really was a bit deflating, to then go into Stoke, who had a new manager, QPR, which we thought they were going to be perhaps better than what they were, and Norwich, who were in quite good form. To come away with, I mean, 7 from 3, really, isn't it? If you go Stoke, QPR, and Norwich last night, with one game to go, you'd have taken that, you'd have snapped the hand off for that. So credit to the players, credit to Edwards, credit to the fans. They have stuck with it. I know, you know, there were still people dubious out there, and I think rightly so. You can't just rest on your laurels that you've won 2 games, but we've been pretty good over the Christmas period. It's been kind to us, and being a second half team, who knows, we might have a better end to the season and have a bit more optimism moving forward.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Thank you very much, Glenn. Look at that. See, this and Acton are the best 2 Millwall
Thank
pods.
you very much.
That is true, and I learned all my skills from the podfather himself, mate. So yeah, first and foremost, survival is the aim every season. 100% agree with it. Well, that is it from us for 2023. I nearly went another 20 then for some reason. But yeah. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stuff this year. We have grown as a show, and a lot of that is down to the guys we've got on, and we've now progressed and we're going forward. 2024 is looking exciting for us, and hopefully we will bring more and more to that. We have some new bits and pieces coming to make this an even better interactive show. We are looking to be able to get your phone calls in and different bits and pieces like that. Again, it'll be anonymous. You can just use your YouTube name, so you don't have to do that. But obviously, sometimes, 2 or 3 lines doesn't necessarily fully get the point what you're trying to make on. So there are options there, and we're looking at it. So yeah, we've got some nice tricks up our sleeves. And I might even end up doing Rob's show on New Year's Day, maybe, as the pod, just to give people something to watch on the way up to thingy, maybe. Don't know, we'll sort something out. Also, if you want to be on Who Are You, some of your older guys on there, Gaz London, Glenn, etc. If you want to do a Who Are You, where you get asked the 20 Millwall questions, UK Firebird even, or anyone. Again, you can drop Stephen an email, spell his name correct, but stephen@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk or info@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk. And also, if there is anyone out there, Chris has obviously got him board, and Chris will be spoken to going forward. But if there are anyone out there who writes or can write and wants to do content and stuff, we are looking for writers for the website for next year. We are looking to bring that back massively active. So we are looking for writers there. And again, if you want to get on the show, you think that you fancy having a go at doing a show or being a guest on a show, again, it's easy. info@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk. Got it, Stephen.
Just on the back of that, I joined the podcast on the back of a space. Mickey and I spoke away from doing anything really. We did a pre-record, and if you want to come on to do a show, if you want to experience maybe the Who Are You first of a pre-record, and it's a great thing to do if you love talking about Millwall as much as we do. Get in contact with us, and as I say, Who Are You is good fun to talk about some memories, but it's really, really straightforward, and we're all here now we can all record with you or have a chat with you if there's anything you'd like to help us with.
That's it. And hopefully we'll be doing some more of this as well next year.
I can't remember then if I got dropped. He might have dropped 2 or 3 players. He might have dropped me. But yeah, definitely, I think sort of September, he told me I could leave. And I was obviously gutted because I've been there for 6 years and I just never thought about leaving Millwall, to be fair. And even when he told me, my dad's like, have you rung your agent and put your name about it? I said, well, no, not really. I sort of just thought, it's Millwall. It'll work itself out. But yeah, I did get told I was leaving. And obviously then, I think Matt McGee brought in Tony Craig and he started playing well. He was obviously only young at the time. So I wasn't even in the squad or whatever. So the writing was definitely on the wall. And lucky enough for me, it don't sound nice, but I was glad Matt McGee got the sack, to be fair, because obviously it gave me another chance to stay at Millwall, to be honest. So it worked in my favour, to be honest. But yeah, I'd known sort of for a couple of years that as much as Matt McGee played me week in, week out, he was always trying to replace me, and obviously I should have probably seen the writing on the wall.
Did you mean to play that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was Robbie Ryan, mate. It was a interview we did with Robbie Ryan before. So yeah. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. Anyway, that's it from us for Thingy. Dan Riggs, definitely. You might even find next year that we end up maybe hooking up in the Harry's bar after a show and recording in there so that people can come in and give a comment and record live. So yeah. What's that? Noisy Git alert. Where are you lads situated? Live.
I think he's asking where we live.
What? As in how? Oh,
no,
well,
not you. You're not going to give out your address, but he's just asking where you're based.
I used to be Bermondsey, but I'm now a Kent cunt. That will put the subs down. So yeah. Right, gents, that is it from us. We're done. I've got 1 or 2 videos to play.
Oh, there can only be one. There can only be one.
There can only be one?
Yeah,
Just see what that comment is. Are you wrapping up? Yeah, we've been on since 7, Jonathan. Because it's Christmas, so we come on at 7. But don't worry, you can just, when we finish the set, you can go back and watch from the beginning. It's been a lively show. We've had a gimp from Leeds on, who's tried to give it and he got it back. But I think after everything what we've gone. Yesterday was, Mickey, do I coach a youth team? No, I don't coach a youth team. Rewind. No, you can rewind. I think there is only one video. There was 2 I had. There was the Netflix one.
No. Oh, that's actually quite good, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. Happy New Year, guys. See you all in 2024.
What one do you want, Stephen? I know.
No, I'm going to leave it up to you.
Netflix or this one? Whichever one, we're still going to get a copyright strike for it, but it don't matter. We won't get a copyright strike, but we'll get a telling off.
No, you're captain, leader, legend, Mickey. See off the last podcast of the year with the video of your choice.
Oh, it's going to be.
And that's us signing.